The element of self-expression, individual self-expression, but it's an individual self-expression and a uniqueness that connects us. So we get connected through each one aspect of individual expression and creativity, and transmitting it to one another to form a whole community. I think that's the best part, and I think what one of the worst parts is that if what happens is now that billions of dollars are being made from it, so that corporations would come in and take that individualism and then it gets twisted, because then those who are not as original will get rewarded, and those who are original kind of get lost in the sauce. I mean, and that, but again, it's up to us to.
Without music, life would be a mistake. Rap and philosophy are two art forms that breed artists who created shockwaves in our world and cultivated subcultures with words in different ways, from literature or broadcasted through a mic and a good beat. When looking into philosophy and my curiosity about philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and more modern philosophers like Carl Jung, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Kant, it made sense to me that just as philosophers used allegories, parables, and thought experiments to convey their ideas, rappers use storytelling to communicate their messages. Rap music is loaded with as many ethical questions. These narratives often serve as a reflection on the human experience. I believe rap is philosophy, or some rap is, as I don't think Ian or Yeet is going to be compared to any philosophers. I'm talking about the rappers with lyrics that just hit you right in the gut and make your mind ponder. Artists like Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Nipsey, Guru, Kendrick, and many more of our favorite rappers whose work and statements align alongside philosophers' greatest and most notorious minds. Rap is philosophy. So, how do rap and philosophy relate? Rap, in a philosophical sense, tends to have similarities with modern philosophical movements like existentialism and libertarianism, promoting freedom of thought and expression. Where else in modern times can you have people promoting many ideologies inside of an umbrella term like rap? In philosophy, there are many movements within their art forms. Rappers, much like philosophers, use their work to engage in a critical examination of the society, from Kendrick preaching spiritual and identity struggles to Future preaching some toxic masculinity on a Metro beat.
I don't give a fuck how good she look, ain't trusting none of the teens. I got white girls on me,
They each revolve around a rap philosophy. Aristotle's theory of art revolves around imitation and the human pleasure derived from it. He sees art as an intellectual exercise that captures reality and removes imperfections. With rap, we see greats like Tupac, Kanye, Drake, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, and many others create albums that transcend music, utilizing art from the past to express themselves in their own way. Early Kanye having the amazing samples, combining with his poetic lyricism about fighting the system, showcasing that art can always be ever evolving and doesn't need to stay in a certain place, as we see where hip-hop was evolving from more than the gangster image to what we have today. Many others emulated his artistic style and created their own subgenres within rap. Kid Cudi to Travis Scott, who also cultivated a mass cult-like fan base like Kanye did. Guru is a great example of someone who embodies the sentiment made by Nietzsche. Without music, life would be a mistake. Rappers retrace many of the philosophies in a way, like Guru in the track Living in This World. He displays cynicism and stoicism in a way that reframes it in a modern rap setting, showcasing the conflicts of our society that it currently has. This mirrors a little bit of Nietzsche, who wrote about the current society he lived in, posing the question of the culture of Germany and the power culture has versus entertainment in the world, and how these influences impact the society. The countless distractions from the internet, as we see now with the amount of fake posts on the web, causes many division today. Lil Wayne and Nietzsche also have commonalities that you may not realize. as both grew up in a society that did not value them, as their position was low, but both achieved success and hardship at a young age. Wayne almost losing his life in an accident, and Nietzsche losing his father and brother to disease. Both had to deal with hardships and to find ways. Though both have controversial issues, there is no denying that both have garnered a new generation of philosophers and rappers. Wayne is one of the most hardest working rappers, known for being in the studio all the time, displaying a will to power throughout his career, from the Hot Boys era to going solo and claiming the title of best rapper alive.
First in the lunch line, my lunch ticket let me eat rappers at lunchtime. Swagger, shining brighter than sunshine. Misfit, ducking the fashion one time. No one on the corner has swagger like moi.
I would argue that while he hasn't created new values, the amount of rappers he's influenced is significant. Every rapper who has a Lil in their name has him to thank. Lil Wayne is actually highly intelligent. He has always excelled academically and even enrolled in university at the peak of his career to take classes in political science and psychology. He may portray this gangster rap image, but in another timeline, Wayne could have easily been a lawyer or political leader.
The dog is the motherfucking problem. Okay, you're a goon, but what's a goon to a goblin? Nothing.
Yo, it's your boy Zashi. Please consider giving this video a like and subscribe down below. Be greatly appreciated. Jay-Z displays objectivism in his raps, and his famous bar, "I'm not a businessman."
I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Let me handle my business, damn.
In Diamonds from Sierra Leone, Jay clearly shows where his values stand, and it's with himself, as we see that one of the most successful rappers ever, achieving billionaire status and reaching levels you wouldn't imagine a kid from the Marcy Projects could. Seeing his career choices by removing himself from Dame Dash and keeping an arm's length from Kanye, Jay-Z has always moved in a calculated way that benefits him overall. Even if it doesn't seem like it from face value, shoot, look at the NFL when he joined prior, when he was advocating for Colin Kaepernick. Then switching up to saying,
Okay, I think we passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into actionable items. I think everyone knows what the issue is. And we
proceeding to be the head of entertainment for the NFL and picking and choosing who gets to perform at the Super Bowl and any NFL events. I believe Ayn Rand would definitely approve of these choices, as it makes sense that as her philosophy of objectivism is reality is pretty much what you see is what you get, and that the pursuit of one's own happiness is a man's greatest purpose. Where else could you find that sort of avatar? None other than Jay-Z, hip-hop's richest mogul. And if he doesn't claim to be an objectivist, it's only because he doesn't know what it means. As you see, many rappers have lots of commonalities with philosophers and their philosophies.
The United States of America today, that self-destroying group of men is you, the American businessman. When I say you, I mean the group as a whole. I accept the tenet that present company is accepted. However, if any of you find a shoe that fits, wear it with my compliments.
We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Kendrick Lamar's work unpacks his identity struggles. What and who is the real Kendrick Lamar? How has fame changed those answers? And how can one stay tethered to those things that make you who you are? All of his records are dispatched from his life, broadcasted to the masses to illuminate and strip away at his shadow, that is, his popularized self. This agenda strikes a chord with the notion of Plato's cave. To summarize, Plato believed that the shadows were the world as we perceived it, and that a more perfect version, a form of everything existed in the world of ideas. It is this tethering to ignorance that both Kendrick and Plato seek to undermine. And especially this year, as we see this being Kendrick's biggest year In rap, it shows to me that we saw Kendrick's shadow at work during this whole battle with Drake. Kendrick had to unleash on him in a way to release or maybe be one with the shadow, like Carl Jung described it in his book, The Undiscovered Self. Kendrick is set to perform on the biggest stage in the Super Bowl, and guess who picked him? The objectivist Jay-Z. So now with Kendrick being on the biggest stage, we're going to see possibly his shadow at play, and Kendrick being one with himself. As we listen throughout Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he will now broadcast what he perceives the world is and how the music industry is watching and how he's going to let the party die. We must see how it will unfold in the Super Bowl performance, as it's going to be in 2025 and when another album he releases. As we've seen, every once in a while there's a revolution in the field, challenging and ultimately subsuming the existence of paradigm. Philosophers rely on formal academic structures of written word, while rappers communicate through music, which prioritizes artistic expression and entertainment. While rappers may be contemporary, philosophers, in a metaphorical sense, they occupy a unique, distinct role in the cultural landscape, one that continues to provide valuable perspectives and wisdom to a diverse and global audience. I couldn't think of a better way to end this video, none other than this guru quote from his album The Jazzmatazz, which I highly recommend any rap fan who's into rap and jazz. It's a beautiful blend of the two. And here's the quote. Over the years, hip-hop has evolved to represent what is happening now, the reality of street life. Rap is the oral expression of this. The tune, the literature, hip-hop is the lifestyle, the philosophy, and even the religion, if I may. Just as jazz had its own culture, rap music also had its own culture, which we can proudly call hip-hop. Although the music and lifestyle is now propagandized by the media and is now exploited by big business, and will remain for the rest of us the raw essence of life. Peace.